Okay, so for years, when CPAs talked about outsourcing, it was all about one thing, right? Saving a few bucks. But that's old school thinking. We're seeing a huge shift now. The sharpest firms are using outsourcing for something way more important, achieving absolutely flawless data. So let's dive into this new idea, what we're calling precision outsourcing.
I mean, this quote right here, it really says it all, doesn't it? For any CPA firm listening, you know this in your bones. Accuracy isn't just some nice-to-have goal. No way. It's the absolute bedrock of your business. It's everything. It's client trust, it's compliance, it's your entire reputation. Every single thing you do hinges on getting those numbers right, 100% of the time.
But what happens when it fails? And look, let's be honest with ourselves for a second. It's a tough question, but we have to ask it. Because we all know that even the most brilliant teams are still human. And human error, it's just inevitable, especially when you're under the gun. So what actually happens when that non-negotiable foundation starts to show some cracks? Well, that brings us right here. We're calling this accuracy the unseen risk, because we really need to reframe how we think about this. We gotta stop calling them small mistakes. These aren't just little oopsies. They're actually significant, super costly business risks. And they can send shockwaves through your entire firm. And man, do these consequences stack up fast. Think about it. One tiny data entry error, and boom, you're looking at IRS penalties. Suddenly you've got a very unhappy client who's starting to lose trust. Then your best people are stuck wasting precious, billable hours fixing something that shouldn't have been wrong in the first place. The whole workflow gets bogged down. It's a classic domino effect, and it all starts from one little mistake. So the big question is, how do we fight back against this? Well, it all comes down to completely reframing the conversation. We've got to start thinking of outsourcing as a precision tool. It's not just for delegating tasks anymore. It's your frontline defense against errors. This is a huge shift, you guys, moving from just saving costs to actively reducing errors. And this chart right here just lays it all out crystal clear. Over on the left, you've got the old way, right? Traditional outsourcing. The focus is on cutting costs. The goal is just to get tasks off your plate. But look at the right side. That's precision outsourcing. The focus, bam, accuracy and error reduction. The goal isn't just delegation, it's about standardizing the whole process so errors can't even creep in. And the value? Well, it's not just about being efficient. It's about building real strategic growth and that rock-solid client trust that only comes from perfect work. Okay, so that's the big idea. That's the theory. But how do you actually do this? How do you put it into practice? Well, that's what this section is all about. We're going to walk through an actionable blueprint, a clear framework that any firm, big or small, can use to get these kinds of flawless results. And here it is. It's a straightforward 6-step process. You see how it flows? You start by targeting the tasks that are most likely to have errors. Then you find the right partners, standardize how the work gets done, bring in the right tech, build in quality checks, and finally, you track everything and keep getting better. It's a complete, manageable plan to basically, well, to engineer errors right out of your system. So let's zoom in on step 1. The key here is to be super strategic. You're not outsourcing everything under the sun. Nope. You're laser focusing on the tasks that are just magnets for human error, especially when tax season hits. We're talking about high-volume tax prep, that tedious bookkeeping and reconciliation work, and especially that mind-numbing data entry from a million different sources. These are the perfect candidates to hand off. Now, I want to jump ahead and highlight step 5 for a sec, because this is where the magic really happens. This multi-level quality check is the secret sauce. See, it's not about just throwing work over the wall and hoping for the best. It's a layered defense system. First, the outsource team does the initial prep. Then, your own internal experts do a secondary, high-level review. And finally, you have software tools that do a last automated check. It's like having 3 safety nets. This is what makes the whole system so incredibly robust. All right, so when you actually get this system humming, the payoff is huge. I mean, it's absolutely game-changing. It completely transforms what your internal team does day to day. They're no longer stuck in the weeds doing the drudgery of data entry. Instead, they're elevated to what they should be doing, high-value client advisory work. Think about it. By shipping out those routine, error-prone tasks, you unleash your best people to do what you actually hired them for. They get to sink their teeth into the complex cases, provide real strategic guidance, and actually spend time building those deep relationships with clients. This, right here, is how your firm goes from being just a compliance shop to becoming a truly trusted advisor. And that is where the real sustainable growth comes from. Okay, now I know what some of you are probably thinking. Whenever this topic comes up, the same questions and concerns pop up. So let's just get right to it. We're going to tackle those key concerns head on in a quick little Q&A. First question, can outsourcing really reduce errors? The answer is a huge emphatic yes. And it's actually pretty simple when you think about it. You're giving these specific, repetitive tasks to teams who are total specialists. This is all they do, and they are highly trained for it. Compare that to your in-house team, who are brilliant but are juggling a dozen different things at once. When you combine specialist focus with a standardized process, the risk of mistakes just plummet.
Next up, does technology actually improve accuracy here? Oh, absolutely. It's a total game changer. Think about all those little copy-paste errors that can cause huge headaches. Automation just wipes those out. And cloud platforms mean everyone, and I mean everyone, is working from the exact same up-to-the-minute information. Technology isn't just a helper here, it's a force multiplier. It makes the whole system smarter and safer.
Okay, this is a big one. I hear this all the time. Are offshore teams really familiar with U.S. tax compliance? And the answer is yes, but with a really important if. If you partner with the right firm, you have to work with experienced, vetted teams. These professional outfits are specifically and rigorously trained in U.S. federal and state standards. I mean, think about it. Their entire business model depends on mastering our complex rules, so you better believe they are diligent about compliance. So how on earth do firms stay accurate during the absolute chaos of peak season? Well, this is actually where this whole precision outsourcing model shines the brightest. Let's face it, tax season is when your internal team is stretched to its absolute limit. They're stressed, they're tired, and that's when mistakes happen. By offloading all that high-volume repetitive work, you're essentially creating a pressure relief valve. You protect your accuracy when it is most vulnerable and free up your team to focus on the important stuff even when things are crazy. And this quote really brings it all home. At the end of the day, we just have to completely change how we look at outsourcing. It's not just about efficiency anymore. It's about building the things that really, truly matter in this business: trust, reliability, and the kind of long-term growth that comes from that. It's not a back-office cost saver. It's a front-office, client-facing strategy. So I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. In today's world, things are only getting more complex, more competitive. Just being good enough isn't going to cut it anymore. The firms that are truly going to win, the ones that will thrive in the years to come, are the ones that make precision their single greatest asset. So the real question for you is your firm ready to build that future?